Hello everyone, just a little content warning. BoJack Horseman and thus our episode today touches upon some heavier and adult topics. Also in this episode I talk a little about the show's production designer, Lisa Hannawalt, but due to an unfortunate spelling error in my notes, I pronounced her name like Hanwalt without the entire time. I honestly don't know how I missed that, but I just wanted to say sorry. And if you want to look her up in her art, it's Hannawalt, Hanawalt. Thank you and enjoy.
Alright, I'm ready.
Alright, who wants...
I'm hot and bothered for some podcast
I hope you recorded that, because that'd be our cold open.
I was recording, yes.
Welcome to Hobbyhorses, an info dump podcast where we talk about our miscellaneous interests, obsessions, and hyperfixations. I'm Thia, a third of your host.
And I'm 2/3 of your host, Richard.
And I'm the third of your host, Herod.
Alright, how's everyone
How
doing
are you guys
today?
doing?
Oh, Thia, you stole my line.
You guys are so in sync.
I'm sorry!
I'm doing well.
That's good.
I'm doing well. I visited my Nana this afternoon, so that was nice. They have mice in their house right now.
Oh,
I'm assuming not on purpose.
So, nope, not on purpose. And so my Nana, she was like, I don't see too good these days. And I saw a brown fuzzy thing on my chair. And so I got close to it because I thought it was yarn. And I was like, oh, brown yarn. And it was a dead mouse. And my uncle was like, oh, good, that means the poison's working. And he was so chipper about the mouse being dead, and I was literally like, oh, like, I understand they're a problem, and you need, like, they will just keep multiplying and become more and more of a problem, but I like mice, and so it makes me sad that they have to die, but I understand.
No, I was the same. When me and Richard were growing up, we had mice at our house because it was old and rickety, and so there were always mice living in the walls, and we'd put out mice traps, and I'd have to open them and, like, throw the dead mice out. But they were so small and precious, and I always felt bad.
Yeah.
I thought it was kind of fun.
Well,
you're a psychopath.
You would. Yeah.
I was like, oh, this is cool. I like we had the special electronic, like, shock things, so it's like they'd walk into, like, a little maze, and then there was, like, a pad, and then they get, like, shock. I thought it was cool.
What is wrong with you?
Richard's got, like, this is the signs of a psychopath.
Thank you.
Well, I mean, you like Francis.
I do. I love Francis.
You were always meant to be a snake owner, because you just,
that's true.
are fine with killing mice. That is the way of the world.
It is.
Did either of you guys do anything fun today?
No.
No?
Okay.
Alright.
I basically worked all day. I did some interesting stuff at work, but no one cares. So, I will not.
Oh, okay.
But anyway, viewers, I would like to say that I've been given a little octopus. And it changes from blue to light blue and sad. It's like happy, sad, happy,
yeah, one
sad.
of the ones you flip around. Is this so you stop clicking?
Yes, I was told that apparently, for the sensitive viewers out there, I may have clicked once or twice in our previous podcasts.
Okay, so here's the thing. Me and Herod, we handle most of the editing.
All of the.
And the social media.
All of the.
And Richard basically just kind of shows up.
This is true.
That's good.
Well, he helps fund the hobby horses.
That's true. He's our
stuff with his adult job.
He has adult money.
But basically, me and Herod have noticed that literally, I don't know, it's like near the end where you start getting like antsy or something, you just click incessantly the whole time. And at first it's not that bad, but the longer you have to listen to it, You just slowly go insane. And it gets to the point where literally anytime Richard's not talking, we have to silence the audio because he's clicking.
But then when he is talking, he's still clicking.
We gave him a fidget.
He's still clicking when he is talking. So it's like you mute everything else, but then you hear him talk. It's like he's like blah 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 blah, and then in the background you can hear clicking. It's so annoying.
The mouse. Anyway,
it adds a rhythm to my speech.
No. No. Actually, it doesn't. Actually, no.
So, we have given him a fidget to keep his hands busy so he does not click.
Sad.
More for our own sanity
Sad.
rather than you guys'.
We all put a picture of this in the description. We'll put our affiliate link.
I got that little guy.
Who listened to us?
I got that little guy in Italy. Alright, so he's an international traveler.
Our highest listened to episode is 30 people, so I'm pretty sure sponsors are gonna... Did you say, oh my god, like that's a lot?
I'm impressed that we got to 30. I never expected to get to like any of them out.
Yeah, no, our Fire Emblem is the most listened to episode, and we have 31 streams and downloads.
That was our first one.
Dieting is actually the second most popular.
Really?
Oh.
Interesting. Yeah. Everyone, oh no, that's bad, because everyone's like talking about our trauma in that one.
Well, I think that appeals to some people. But I have it up right now. Do you want to guess what our top 3 most listened to episodes are?
Well, we know the top 2.
We know the top 2. Yeah. You've kind of spoiled the competition a little bit, Thea.
list the last couple then. What do you think after Fire Emblem Face First, Dieting?
Think it's after Vocaloid, because our Instagram reel did well for Vocaloid.
You're right, it's Vocaloid. But after that?
Ooh.
Richard Stan better be up there.
It could be Richard Stan. A lot of people that I've talked to say that they listen to Richard Stan first because it's it catches the eye, apparently.
Yeah. Like, what on earth is Richard Stan?
Yeah, like, what?
Richard Stan is our most popular after Vocaloid. And then...
Okay.
Because
we got left 17?
Going 17.
Going 17, I think... Oh, well, Going 17 I think would be more than Heated Rivalry, because Heated Rivalry was just yesterday. But also at the same time, Going 17, we didn't put out, like, anything on social media, because I couldn't figure out what to do for short form for that.
And you guys also moved, so it made it difficult to
Herod's episodes are the least popular.
No! Oh!
I'm in the middle, and then Thea's
to be
at the
fair,
top.
and Herod's Heated Rivalry might get more just because the video's doing currently well right now.
It's doing well on TikTok.
They take a little while.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like Going 17 would have been, because all the ones we posted on TikTok for tend to be, did I say TikTok? On TikTok for tend to be up there.
Yeah.
But for
guys,
all
if you're listening to this, go listen to the Going 17 episode, alright? Give it some love. And then go watch Going 17 afterwards. It's so good.
I do have a motion graph video in the works for that. I just have not been working on it, so I need to finish that.
Theodore.
Who's Theodore?
Am I Theodore?
That's Thea.
Wait.
I love that.
Oh, yep, that's me. Okay, but just because I think it's interesting for us, episode 1, Fire Emblem Fates, is currently at 31. Dieting's at 26.
Oh no.
Vocaloid's at 22. Richard Stan's at 20.
Okay.
Going 17's at 15. And Heated Rivalry has 2. And then now we have the topic of today's video, BoJack Horseman.
We're finally talking about horses on Hobbyhorses.
I know, it's very, very exciting, guys. We're finally talking about horses. I did like a bunch of my notes this morning, so I've literally been dying to talk about this all day.
I just want to aside that I can tell that I do fidget a little bit, as I've already started strangling myself with my belt.
Why is that actually on topic for BoJack Horseman? There is a character that strangles himself with his belt.
Oh my god, that's crazy. No.
Yeah.
It was not autoerotic. No, it was auto-normal. It was auto-normal asphyxiation.
When you said strangled himself with his I thought you meant, like, killed himself. I didn't realize that it was a kinky thing.
Well, he did accidentally kill himself, but it was meant to be a kinky.
Oh.
Have you not heard of autoerotic asphyxiation, Heron?
Yes, I've heard of autoerotic asphyxiation.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it went wrong in BoJack Horseman.
Why did you say like you really wanted me to elaborate? You're like, yes, tell me more.
Well,
tell me more.
I'm gonna get us started on our topic.
Autoerotic asphyxiation.
No.
Take us away. Let's start with the history.
Stop.
Autoerotic asphyxiation was first discovered in Egypt.
What?
During the Middle Period.
Okay.
Where the pharaohs used to... what's Egyptian? The pharaohs
used to
grab the cats and strangle... Yes!
For a second, you're always Googling stuff, so I really paused for a second. I was like, what?
Alright.
No, I fully...
Okay, here you go. I'm gonna grab my mouse, which is being thrown to the side.
Okay, alright.
And I will give you some history, but while I Google that, Thea, please tell us about BoJack Horseman.
Okay, so, a little bit of context. I have had people for a very, very long time tell me that I need to watch this show, partly because it's a great show. The other part, because it has some of the best asexual representation, like, ever, and I do identify as being on the ace spectrum, so anytime I tell people that, a good chunk of the time, people are like, oh, like Todd from BoJack Horseman. So, obviously, it's great representation for that, since that's the first thing people think of, but I've put off watching it for so long. One, because I have to be in a very specific mood to start a show. Half the time I might literally want to watch it, but if the stars aren't aligned, I just won't feel it. Two, I will sometimes get obsessed over a show or a video game, like, can take over my life. If I really get into it, I will just procrastinate everything. It's not a great habit. Like, for example, just like this week, a couple days ago, we watched 2 episodes of The Pit together, and then yesterday I finished all of it in one sitting.
It's a really good show, and I also finished all of it.
Yes.
So it's like, but I had stuff I was supposed to be doing, and I was like, oh, it's a snow day, I'll get all of this done, and then I didn't. I just watched The Pit. So that's sort of like, if I know I might like something, I will kind of put it off until I know I have the time to afford it. And then 3, I feel really bad saying this, but I just did not like the art style of BoJack Horseman at first, which makes it really hard for me to start an animated show. Like, I don't know what it is. There's just a lot of shows I just do not like the art style personally, and it's not like I think it's a bad art style. I think BoJack Horseman is a good art style. Just to me, when I looked at it, I was like, this doesn't look like something I want to look at all day. And like, even I would often watch kind of in the background, and then I did a second rewatch where I was kind of watching it the whole time, and I saw more of like the gags in the background that I missed the first time. But there's like a bunch of American cartoons like Rick and Morty, Family Guy, Big Mouth, anything in that, like, I don't know how to describe it. It's like a specific slice of American, especially American adult animated stuff I don't like. Mm-hmm. Even Gravity Falls, I had to grow to like that because I wasn't in love with it at first. But then the more I watched the show, I learned to like it. I really don't know what it is.
The art style of Gravity Falls.
However, I finally was like, you know what? I saw like a couple like TikToks of people like, talking about it, and I was like, I kind of want to finally start watching it, and I did, and I was hooked. The first 2 seasons I watched over like the span of a week, and then the last 3 to 6 seasons I watched in like 2 to 3 days, because I just did not, like, I just would watch it.
That's so insane, Thea. That's insane.
No, it literally, this is why I was like, I cannot just start a show willy-nilly, because I will get obsessed and then I won't want to do anything except watch the show until I'm done, which is a big problem, which is why I usually procrastinate starting stuff, because I'm like, I have to be in the right mood, it has to be perfect, I can't have anything important going on, because it'll completely mess up my productivity. But how much do you guys know about BoJack Horseman? Richard, I know you watched some of it.
I did. It's a show.
Sorry, the way you just...
It has a horse in it.
It sounded like you wasn't going to elaborate. Just...
I was going to be like, okay, hang here. But I know you...
No. I watched up to season 3, and I actually stopped. Maybe we can talk about this very specific episode. I should have rewatched it for this, but it was an episode called Time's Arrow, and I just, I could not get through that episode.
That one's really hard to watch. It's very sad.
Yeah.
Yeah, but were you into the show, like, the first half? Was that literally just, like, it was too hard to watch at that point, so you just kind of never picked it up again?
Yeah, I really enjoyed the show, but I feel like I found it at some point to be a little bit of, like, depression porn.
Yeah, I can definitely see that.
Everything's just supposed to be as sad, as bleak, as humanly possible.
Okay.
And I was eventually like, I am done with this. I am done with everything being so awful. Like, it's a fairly fun, and, like, some of the comedy moments are great. But, oh my gosh, it wants to be dark, and it succeeds.
Yeah, it is. It's definitely a very... Honestly, that is one of the, like, it's a very, very, like, serious show and dives into a lot of serious topics, and I'll talk a little bit more about that later, but I totally get, like, after I binged all of it, I literally had to kind of pick myself up and dust myself off, because it was affecting my mental health from watching so much of it. Like, I was kind of dragged down with them. But in Herod, what if sort of, like, I know you said you haven't watched it. Have you watched a couple episodes?
Yeah, I watched a couple. Richard actually showed it to me. I watched a couple of the episodes of the first season. For me, I mean, it was, like, interesting. I just didn't get hooked, so I just didn't continue watching it. Obviously, it's a big sort of show in the, like, cultural zeitgeist, so I do know some things about it. I've seen videos about it. I know that it's depressing. And I know I've seen some clips of the, like, sad speeches and everything like that. But overall, I don't know that much about the show. I mean, it seems good. I don't know. I don't know if I would watch it or not, but...
Okay.
Yeah, what would be, like, your elevator pitch for the show?
Okay. Well, I did write a little bit about sort of how I want to explain the show, so this is a good little segue into that. As sort of mentioned, BoJack Horseman is an animated adult TV show that surrounds a washed-up 90s sitcom actor and professional asshole, BoJack, in a world where anthropomorphic animals and humans live and even have romantic/sexual relationships with each other.
Did that ever get explained? Or is that just...
It's just...
Oh, okay.
It's just part of the world building.
Okay.
And that, like, literally, when you just say that out loud, it sounds extremely weird. And that was another factor that kept me from watching the show for so long.
Honestly, fair enough.
I was like, that's so strange. But, like, when you actually start watching it, the animals look practically, like, 80% human and act indistinguishably from the human characters. So it's not, like, nearly as weird because you kind of forget that this is a horse after a while.
Yeah.
And the animal aspects are kind of more like usually joke aspects, or it's not really like lingered upon, which makes it less weird.
I wonder why they decided to do that, like creatively.
I
want to be a fly in that
background
wall.
About that.
Ooh, okay, all right.
About
research.
Why that sort
all
of
right.
animal. That's sort of where the anthropomorphic animals came from. But to sort of keep going, like, it's a comedy drama, as we've sort of, like, hinted towards, and it balances wacky, surreal, like, visual humor with intense topics such as mental health, addiction, abuse, sexism, and even abortion, which, partnered with the fact that it stars a humanoid horse, makes it probably one of the most unique shows I've ever seen. Just because it's such a bizarre concept. Like, when you're reading the elevator pitch, it's like, okay, so you've got humor, really depressing topics, and then it's a horse, and but there's humans, and it's like there's a whole lot going on. Yeah. And the plot mainly revolves around our titular character, BoJack Horseman, and his relationships with Diane, his ghostwriter and close friend, Princess Carolyn, his agent and off-and-on girlfriend, Todd, his young, unofficial roommate that crashes on his couch every night, Mr. Peanut Butter, his happy-go-lucky, one-sided rival, as well as just Hollywood stardom and alcohol itself. And the show was created by Raphael Bob Waxberg and released in August of 2014 to January of 2020. Which makes me a little sad that it ended before the pandemic, because I feel like pandemic episodes would have written themselves.
That would have been, yeah.
But a couple of fun facts with the creation of the show, which I kind of mentioned earlier, because I found an archived Rotten Tomatoes interview with the show's creator.
Okay.
And I'll put that in the episode description, but it kind of gave a little bit of information on how the show began. And Bob Waxberg was initially inspired by the art of his friend, Lisa Hanwalt, who eventually became the show's production designer. The two of them went to high school together and collaborated on a webcomic called Tip Me Over, Pour Me Out. And I believe that was around 2008, though I had a really hard time pinpointing the exact date. At one point, Waxberg was struggling to get one of his various pitches approved for a show production, and he reached out to Hanwalt, who had been illustrating these anthropomorphic animal people. And it was her art that sort of co-parented BoJack Horseman, and co-parented is the word she uses for herself in her Instagram bio. And then the character of BoJack Horseman himself, Waxberg said in the same interview, was inspired by his own experience as a young person living in LA. He said that he, rented a room in this, huge, luxurious house with a bunch of other people, and it was at the top of this big hill at the end of this really winding, hazardous road. And if you've...
What? I want his life. That sounds so fun.
And if you've watched the show, that's very similar to BoJack Horseman's house in the show. It's, on a hill with this big road, kind of away from the rest of LA. But Roxburgh said that, early on to moving, he, wrecked his car on that crazy road and was stuck without a car in this big house around people he had only just met. And he recalled a time where he was, standing out on his deck, just looking out over Hollywood, feeling simultaneously, excited on top of the world, but never more alone. And he was, saying that strange kind of complex emotion is what sparked the idea for BoJack, this sort of has-been actor with everything he could possibly ask for, but still just devastatingly, alone and depressed. Which I think is really interesting, because you can sort of tell when you watch the show that feeling is kind of throughout the whole 6 seasons. And I did just want to talk about Lisa Hanwalt a little bit. Lisa Hanwalt. Only because her aesthetic literally created the world of BoJack. And I have seen so many video essays talking about the show, and no one mentions her. And it was her drawings of these horse people that gave him the idea for... I think him, at one point he literally called it BoJack the Depressed Talking Horse. That was his first pitch. And so she was kind of...
I mean, that's pretty accurate.
Yeah, that was his original title for the show. So I just wanted to sort of give her credit where credit is due. She's a very accomplished artist and illustrator. Her comic, I Want You, won an Ignatz Award for Outstanding Comic. And if I'm correct, she was the first woman to win that specific category. After BoJack Horseman, she created her own show, Birdie and Tuca. Which is an animated adult comedy. Yeah, that focuses on the friendship between the two titular characters. Bob
that got shown in some of my animation classes. It was I liked the show. It was very really good. Similar to BoJack. I kind of assumed that they were connected.
Yeah, Bob Waxberg helped produce Birdie and Tuca, though it was Lisa's show. And most recently, Hanwalt worked as a supervising producer and artist for Waxberg's newest show, Long Story Short, which I watched very shortly after BoJack Horseman, and it is also very good, and it's getting a second season, so I'm excited about that. But before we moved on, I just wanted to show you a couple of her artwork.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And then once you're done with that, I have something I want to say.
Yeah, of course. And I will put her Instagram in.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Ooh, that's cool. With the horses, with the butt faces.
I like that it's colored with highlighters. That's very cool.
Yeah. And her art style, you can just tell by looking at it, this is BoJack Horseman's art style in a, drawn by her own hand.
Didn't you start by saying that the art style for BoJack Horseman was ugly?
Yeah, well... I said at the start, I personally didn't like it. As I watched the show, I've grown to like it more, and I will admit, knowing that it was a woman that made the art style makes me like it more, which is my own personal prejudice. Knowing more about the artist makes me more excited to like it.
Yeah.
But
I really like this horse one. Sorry, that's not specific enough.
It is nice when something is actually the work of an artist, not just committee.
Ooh, yeah. The colors are gorgeous.
Even though I wasn't a huge fan of the art style at first, which is why I put off watching it, the more I watched it, the more I was like, this show would not work with a different art style. There's something about it that is just so perfect for the show.
Okay,
and
but imagine anime BoJack Horseman.
Yeah. It wouldn't
hilarious.
work the same way.
No.
Yeah.
And knowing that the creator wasn't first inspired by this woman's art for, like, the world of the show, it makes so much sense why you can't take that away. It was, like, woven into the show's very creation, which I think is really cool.
Yes. Shout out to women.
Talking about that, I think everyone wanted more information on autoerotic asphyxiation.
Oh my gosh.
So...
All right.
It was first documented in the early 17th century.
Okay.
The idea for this, according to the Wikipedia article, likely came when when people watched hangings. They saw that they often got a death erection, also known as angel lust.
What? Oh my gosh.
It's common when you're hanging victims to get erections.
Okay.
And occasionally ejaculated. Oh my gosh.
Ejaculated, really?
Yeah.
That's surprising.
Yeah.
The erection thing doesn't surprise me because, like, you die, your body does weird things. Blood goes into
your body
places.
like stiffens up.
Ejaculated is surprising.
Yeah. But anyway,
they're like, I want some of what that guy is that.
Oh my god.
But anyway, yes, it's commonly, commonly, but definitely practiced, and it leads to about thousands of deaths every single year.
Jeez.
Unfortunately.
Is this going to be your next podcast topic?
Please no.
I am not into autoerotic asphyxiation.
Okay, good to know.
Yes. Tried it. It wasn't.
Hey, we're sex positive
it was just
on this
like,
podcast.
I want to breathe. I like breathing, you know?
Yeah, I also like breathing.
Oh, it's usually men as well. It's
I'm
I
sure.
think they said out of
Sorry, that sounded...
one in... It's estimated
men.
that about 1% of practitioners are female, probably less than
Really?
I had a couple sort of reasons why the show stood out to me a lot.
Sorry, I love how Thia's just like trying to really move us along so quickly. She's like, shut the fuck up, Richard.
Thia must be commended.
I literally did not hear what Karen just said. I heard noise, and then Thia must be commended, and I'm like, yeah, I should.
You should.
Whatever. I don't know what you said, but yeah, okay.
No, I was just laughing because it's just you took such a harsh, like, left turn. You were like, okay, let's stop talking about this. Back to business.
I want to make sure that I don't ramble too long. I want to keep an eye on the time. And I did have a little point of where I wanted us to have like a discussion about a specific sort of topic that really stood out to me. So I was thinking that I could sort of speed run through a couple of the reasons why the show really stood out to me.
Speed run. Yeah, let's go.
Do it. Speed run, Thia. I want it fast. I want it quick. I want it hard. Let's go.
Okay.
Okay.
So I could say a lot about how amazing like the writing is, the characters, the voice acting, but there's like already so much content on YouTube, like analyzing little parts of the show, like these specific things. Even 6 years after the finale, like I still see videos coming out today about this show. So I don't want to beat a dead horse, pun intended. So I'm just gonna go over like
Did you write that down? Did you write that?
Yes, I did. That's why I have notes.
I'm just imagining Thia writing that and going,
that was funny.
This'll get him. We should put a warning at the beginning of this podcast. Warning comes for just like how funny.
Warning comes. Warning, Thia.
Wait.
Trigger warning for me, just specifically.
Yeah. Trigger warning, Thia.
For Theodore. Okay.
For Theodore.
But I wanted to go over just like 3 things that I personally just really liked about the show. And this is just my personal opinion, what I thought they did well. I know, Richard, you said that you thought it was too sad.
Yes.
But that's not, but like, as I'm gonna say, like, my second note, I think they managed to balance it a little bit better. But I just want to quickly go over, like, the smallest things, just that the representation is great. Like, as I already said, it has some of the best, like, blatant, like, asexual representation I have ever seen in a show. Like, it's incredible how such a big show dived into such an underrepresented sexuality in such detail. Like, they literally talk about the difference between, like, sexual and romantic attraction, how different aces are okay / want different levels of intimacy. Stuff really? I've literally never, like, I've never seen any other show talk about this. That's wonderful.
I love that. I didn't know they went like that far. I knew that Todd was asexual, but I didn't know how much they discussed it. And asexuality is such an like you said, underrepresented topic. It really needs to be talked about, because it's like, there's so much about, like, sexual attraction that people just take for granted and, like, don't understand or look into.
Yeah. And it's crazy, like, going into the show, I did not expect them to spend so much detail on this. Like, it is a huge part of this character's arc and, like, finding himself. And they treat it with the same importance, like, they treat any, like, just, like, a normal coming out story. And it's honestly, like, it was really impressive to me to sort of see that evolve, and I was not expecting that at all. The other thing that sort of stood out to me is just how well written the female characters are. Like, all of them have different desires and goals, and although they have relationships with, like, pretty important relationships with men in their lives, none of their development revolves entirely around them. It feels like they're just people in their life that affect sort of who they are. Like, Diane and Princess Carolyn, our main sort of leading ladies, are so distinct from each other with many different goals and different morals, and their struggles are just so gut-wrenchingly relatable to anyone raised or living as a woman. Like, you can't take that away from the way they're written. It's such a big part of them. I also just love how the show was one of the only times I've ever seen, and this is me personally, I'm sure it exists in other shows, but I've seen gaining weight as a sign of bettering yourself. And just to sort of summarize, for one main character, she later goes on a medication to help her mental health, and the weight she gains is seen as a side effect of a good thing, a reflection that she's improving and becoming healthier. And it's the way she keeps the weight the rest of the show. It is never joked upon. It's never brought out in a bad way. It's only seen as this is a good thing, that she's getting the help she needs and becoming healthier.
That
involves
like,
gaining
that genuinely makes me, like, so happy to hear. Yeah, I remember seeing like videos of her with the weight gain, and kind of being like, my initial reaction to that was like, oh, okay, she must be going through a bad time. And then Thia was like, actually, no, it's the opposite. And I don't know, that makes me feel very happy to hear.
It's so refreshing to see. And really realistic, too, because that is often a, like, side effect of a lot of medications. And so it's, like, it was really interesting to see. And just sort of, in general, the reason the show stuck out to me so much is because it just had so much that I hadn't seen in shows before. And again, that's not to say they've done something no one else has ever done. But it's just, like, it felt so fresh to me. And I had never seen anything kind of similar up until this point. But the show just manages to blend, like, extremely wonky comedy with tragedy, complicated issues, and, like, relevant social and political commentary pretty seamlessly, at least to me. But, like, just, like, as an example, as I said, I just watched The Pit, like, yesterday. And there's, like, a scene where I won't spoil, but there's, like, a scene where some of the characters are like, did you know that violence towards nurses has skyrocketed? And the way it was filmed and said in the second, it just, like, took me out of the universe, because for a second it was like, oh, they're talking about real life. They're trying to make a commentary.
Yeah.
And that's not, like, a bad thing, but I was like, I feel like they could have done it in a way that was a little more... Like, they had already kind of shown that happening. You didn't need someone to be like, have you seen the statistics? This is what's happening. And somehow, because BoJack, like, I don't know how, but they just managed to juggle all these different things without dragging you out of it. And one of the reasons I'm wondering if that it works is because they have all these bizarre theatrics. You've already suspended your disbelief a tiny bit, so even if the discussions become a little on the nose, it still somehow works in the grand scheme of things. But that's kind of just my opinion. I know there's a little critique about how they balance zany with serious, especially in season 1. But I never felt like oh, this is preachy now while I was watching it. Though I know, Richard, I think you, like, had a little bit of a different sort of reaction.
I mean, yeah, I wouldn't say I found it preachy. But yeah, I guess I found it too sad. I mean, it's got its moments of levity, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess there's just, like, a couple moments where I'm just like, oh, God.
Yeah.
And, you know, that's real pain that happens in real life,
yeah.
like, obviously. But I don't know why. Because, like, there's a lot of things I like. Humans are weird. Because we like things that have bad things happening to people in them, right?
Yeah.
We love it when their dad dies or they, you know, have a monster chasing after them. You know, all of that stuff.
Yeah.
But also at the same time, it's like, I don't know, for entertainment, if I want to watch someone, like, going through such, like, harsh stuff. And it was specifically I do want to talk a little bit about this episode, Time's Arrow, if we want to talk about that.
Yeah, there's going to be, like, a point where I'm trying to keep things kind of spoiler-free for a little bit.
And then there's a point where you're going to dive into the spoilers.
Because I'm like, if you want to listen to this and you haven't watched the show yet, past this point, we're going to talk about spoiler stuff. So if you do want to, like, wait a second until that sort of spoiler-free part, just because I know there's still a lot of people that are actively watching the show for the first time, just because it's such a...
And,
like
and
you
we
said,
have such a large audience, we wouldn't want to spoil them, you know?
You know? But yeah, I definitely think that is such a good episode, and I'd love to talk about it more in detail. But the last sort of thing that I thought was really interesting, and this kind of leads into sort of like a discussion that I wanted to have, is just its frequent exploration of morality. What makes someone a good person? Can a person who's done bad things ever be redeemed? Is it fair to the people they hurt for that person to get a second chance? And I think as someone who's just like freshly entering the adult world at such a crazy time where the internet is crazy and the news is crazy, it just felt very, like, I just connected to it a lot at this moment.
Yeah.
Like, almost all of these characters are not perfect people. They have their flaws, they do bad things, and yet you can't help but root for them to do better. And BoJack himself is probably one of the most interesting characters in that, because he is such a terrible person. From the moment he's on screen, he is a jerk. He uses people. He does not care how his actions affect others. Like, when I say he's a professional asshole, that's what he is. And yet, time and time again, somehow this show gets us wanting him to be better, to not make, like, the bad decisions he keeps making. And I think it's such an interesting thing that a show can do that, can show him being terrible, and yet we want him to change and be better. Because even though BoJack is like a jerk and even a monster sometimes, we see him longing to be more than that. Like, a desperation to make connection. But, like, if we weren't seeing the show from his perspective, I don't think anyone would ever root for him. Because he'd be the villain.
Yeah.
And I think that's just so fascinating how a character can do some of the worst irredeemable things, yet I was still watching just like, please do better, and wanting to see him be better.
So what's the question you're posing to us about morality?
So, but like a couple of things that BoJack Horseman like brings up is like sort of this idea of how to make something right when you've gone too far. And, like, is there, like, a point where no one deserves that sort of fresh start? And I'm not talking about, like, murdering people, obviously. Like, there's a point where you need to be in prison your whole life. But me personally, that always just made me think a lot about, like, cancel culture and our current, like, internet sort of one wrong move and you're out.
Yeah.
And it's honestly really infuriating to me because in most cases, it's not actually worthy of the reaction it gets. It's most people from the internet seeing something that they kind of identify as wrong and then jumping to a conclusion to make themselves feel self-righteous in a time when we're, like, out of control with everything else. And it's like, I don't want bad people to profit from hurting others. Like, what I want people, like, especially, like, people online to take responsibility when they mess up and do something wrong. However, we've reached a point where, like, the littlest thing is, like, scrutinized and the internet has dubbed themselves the judge, jury, and executioner. And so I think it's really interesting when you watch the show about a person who, like, would be canceled if this was a real person. No one would like him. and yet we still want him to do better. Like and something that BoJack does struggle with is when he is improving, the actions of his past keep coming back to haunt him. And it's like he can never fully escape what he did. And it's this sort of like, I don't know if you guys had any like sort of like opinions on sort of that like idea of like cancel culture and sort of forgiveness in that sort of lens, which I don't know if
I also have opinions, but Richard, you go.
All right. Well, I'm afraid I'm going to go kind of broad, but I think that, I mean, fundamentally, like, how can we communicate and talk with people whose own decisions are something that we find abhorrent, right? I think that is a fundamental question now, and I think that's what's causing a lot of the political issues. Yeah. Like, if you look at something, and I always think a great example of this is abortion. There's, roughly, there's half the population who thinks, well, you're going and you're murdering babies. That's, like, the worst thing you can do. You are, like, murdering babies. And there's half the population who's like, you are forcing women to do things, like surgery, without their consent. Like, that is one of the worst things that you can do, is to force them into these unsafe situations and to kind of cause problems.
And not just surgery, pregnancy and birth are traumatic and incredibly.
Yes. Anyway, this is not about abortion. This is not about.
No, I'm just saying.
This is the idea that
Yes. Pregnancy in of itself is very hard.
Yes, that's true. That's very true. But the idea is like, we live in a country, we live in a time where there are so many people, there are billions of people who believe things that we believe are abhorrent and do things that we think are abhorrent. And yet we need to find a way to live with them. Yeah. And I don't know if I have a good answer for that. Like, how do you both give someone second chances and, like, give someone, like, the benefit of the doubt while they also, like, to an extreme example, like, are, like, a white supremacist or something, right? It's like, can you forgive that? I mean, in some ways, like, you want them to be able to change. Like, the optimal thing is for someone to improve and someone to get better. But also, like, at some point you're like, no, shut the fuck up. I don't care what you're saying. You're a white supremacist, right? Like, it's like, and at some point you want to cut someone off.
Yeah,
and it's
that
really
relationship
hard. It's really, really hard.
Fascinating to me, because I think it's so hard to know what to do, because, like you said, if someone believes something so horribly wrong, you want them to not have that opinion, but it's almost like impossible, at least if it's something that, like, horrible, like, your own sort of disgust at this behavior makes it so hard to, you're just like, can this person even change?
Right.
I've been seeing this thing a lot where it's like, you don't have any obligation to educate people. But I don't know how much I agree with that. It's like, on the one hand, in a perfect world, you should be able to live your life and you should never be obligated to talk to someone. And I'm not saying this in a way of, like, you should talk to someone if you feel threatened. Like, obviously don't.
Yeah, or unsafe.
But, like, but it's like, do we, to a certain extent, have an obligation to try and bring people onto a better path? Because if we don't, then other people are going to suffer negative consequences for it. But at the same time, I also understand saying, no, you don't, because, like, why does that have to be on us? Like, it's not our job. I guess I don't practice what I'm preaching right now in the terms of, like, if somebody says something that makes me uncomfortable, or someone says something that I really don't like, I will maybe, if it's really bad, I'll maybe address it once, but most of the time I will just distance myself from the situation, because it's gotten to the point in the world where people are so stubborn in their beliefs that it doesn't feel worth it to pour my energy and my mental health, put that at risk to help this other person who probably won't change. But
I want to push this a little bit to the more apolitical side. What do you think about interactions with people who are, mean, or maybe are a little or strange, or, like, the interactions with them are weird, like those sort of people? Because I've often had a very big, especially as someone who's within a lot of, like, nerd circles, right? Is a lot of the people that I are amazing, but there's a fair amount that are neurodivergent in one way or the other. And some of them are neurodivergent in the way that makes it
uncomfortable.
Not uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But, I feel for them because they're a human being and I want them to be as happy as they can be. But I also, have to decide what I'm doing for myself. And I think BoJack has a little bit of that as well. It's like, how much do you extend the support to people while also not, I'm trying to think of, imagining a person on a dock. Maybe that's not a good analogy, but, how much do you put yourself out there to help them while also making sure you don't get drowned?
Yeah.
That's one of the, why I wanted to sort of talk about this, because it's just such an interesting conversation.
Yeah.
And I feel like the show does it in a way that's so real and visceral, despite them literally being anthropomorphic animals. So there's actually, I wrote down this fun fact, but I wasn't sure if I was going to talk about it, but I think I will.
Mm-hmm.
There's this whole sort of plot in, I think it's season 5. And I guess we're going to be starting to dive into that spoiler territory, so if you don't want spoilers...
Spoiler wall, spoiler warning.
Can I do it?
Spoiler.
I was about to do that.
No, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Spoiler, 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 spoiler. Spoilers ahead. Spoilers ahead.
Thank you for that.
Okay, I think they'd be more.
If you somehow missed that, spoilers ahead.
I love how me and Herod had exactly the same idea as well.
But sort of, BoJack stars as this very morally great character, and he has a speech about how playing this character made him realize that he knows he's not a good person, but it's okay.
No, that's... I don't know if I agree with that.
This is actually, allegedly, and I also will put the article that I saw this in as well, but Harvey Weinstein? Weinstein?
Weinstein.
Yeah.
We read that. I said that, right?
Okay, so Harvey Weinstein, the famous producer and, sex offender, allegedly told someone who worked for Will Arnett, the voice of BoJack, that he loved the show. Waxberg, the creator of the show, basically panicked when he heard that Harvey Weinstein liked the show. Am I saying his name wrong? You're laughing at me.
Yeah, Weinstein.
You're not saying it wrong.
Okay, you laughed and I said Weinstein and I panicked.
You're just a good storyteller.
Yeah, you're
sorry,
just
I panicked that I'm not.
Amazing person.
I'm sorry.
We warned people at the beginning that there was Thia.
Because it's just too much to your presence is just it's enlightening.
I can't get through the story. Anyway, I have a quote from this article that was sort of his thoughts. And he said, "When I heard that story, the idea that Harvey Weinstein watched my show really gave me chills. I thought, what is he getting out of it? Does he watch it and go, yeah, that's right, that's the way to be. Us Hollywood guys, we're trouble. What are you going to do with us?" And this bothered him so much that he wrote this plot in season 5 to literally be in a very meta way, was like, this is not someone you should be happy being. He is not a good person.
Yeah.
And I thought it was really important for the show to have that, because they did BoJack's character so well.
I'm getting called.
Oh, yeah, I got a call, too. I declined the call.
Who is it?
It's from our father. Our father was
Hi,
calling.
Dad.
Why did you pick up the phone?
Is there anything you'd like to say to the podcast?
We're recording, Richard. Why did you pick up the phone?
It's the podcast. Well, we're being thrown off the plane.
What?
You've been thrown off the plane? Well, just you or everyone?
Everyone, not just me.
Okay, that's good. You're not like that guy who was dragged off the plane a few years ago.
No. Okay, well, enjoy your podcasting.
Thank you.
And, I'll let you know if there's any updates. Yeah,
Thank you for guest starring. Now that we're in spoiler territory, Richard, did you want to talk quickly about the episode that made you stop watching?
Yes.
Okay.
So.
Oh my god. You're so annoying.
I love pausing. I love it when people just ask you questions like that and you just say yes. It's so funny. I'm such a comic. You should put a warning for me at the beginning.
You should. Trigger warning, Richard.
I'm such a comic.
So the episode, I just pulled out the plot because it was a long time since I watched it, but I just remember it really affecting me. And so the episode kind of centers around BoJack being his usual jackass and his mother, who sucks.
Yes.
She's essentially very abusive and such like that. And she's suffering, she's kind of towards the end of her life, she's suffering from dementia. And so the episode kind of goes through her memories. She sort of, grows up in this super abusive household. She runs away to what she thinks will be a better life, but then ends up getting pregnant and starts drinking and becomes unhappy.
Okay, this is making me sad that I'm not even watching the episode. I'm just...
Yeah.
It's a beautifully done episode, though, I will say, even though it's really sad.
And then it ends with her remembering how her father burnt her toys. The whole episode, BoJack, she was unable to recognize BoJack, and right at the end, she recognizes him, and she asks where they are, and he tells her that they're in the lake house, and she's eating ice cream, and she was never allowed to eat ice cream.
Yeah.
Stop! Oh my god!
So that's the episode.
Yeah. No, it is a tragic. That episode is really famous in sort of the fandom, because up until that point, we literally think of BoJack's mother as the worst person ever. Every scene, she's horrible. She's a terrible person, and then just this last episode, I think it's the last episode we ever see her, and you just kind of get an idea of what her life was like. And it's this weird sort of memory, everything is kind of foggy, and it's incredibly well done, even though it's a bummer.
It was very affecting. That's why I stopped watching it. It was too affecting.
It is. It is and that's sort of all of BoJack, is they have these episodes that will just emotionally destroy you. And then the next episode, here's Todd. Let's see what wacky shenanigans he's gonna get into. May or may not cause a genocide.
I guess I guess I'd say that it is really affecting, episodes like that. I mean, me and my sister had a grandmother who had dementia, and that sort of stuff is rough. And also the idea that you can try. I mean, obviously, I'm not saying she's an amazing person, but she grew up in, these situations that put you into these lives that are awful, and just none of us are guaranteed happiness.
That harks back to, none of us are guaranteed happiness. That's oof. Anyway, that harks back to, I think, Thia's original question of, at what point are you irredeemable?
At no point are you irredeemable. But
I don't know
that doesn't mean that...
Maybe I do.
I agree with myself.
Yeah. I kind of idealistically want to believe that everyone is redeemable. I do have a very hard time just... there'll be some people that will say stuff that I personally really don't like, and then it makes it really hard for me to want to keep, being around them, even if they've never done anything against me directly, they've just said stuff or had beliefs that I don't agree with. Sometimes it's immediately hard for me to just, in, practice, find that sort of forgiveness and belief that they can change that opinion. But I do think idealistically I believe people are willing to change.
See, the thing is, I feel like I agree with Thia, in almost an idealistic sense, but I also know myself to the point where I feel like if I really knew someone who had maliciously caused a lot of deep, deep pain, I don't know if I would want the best for them.
Can I ask one? Can I make a little bit of a transition? So, Thia, before we go to the game, I want to know, do you think, when you watch episodes like this, do you enjoy the pain? What makes it something that you want to watch?
I don't know.
Are you a masochist?
Because there's some things that are just so sad that I'll watch and be like, oh my gosh, that was so sad. I cannot watch that again. For example, The Grave of Fireflies by Studio Ghibli. That is 2.5 hours of just pure bleak hopelessness. Well, I need a level of some form of hope. And I really like stuff that feels very real. I don't know why I keep relating it to The Pit. Like, I literally watched it yesterday. But stuff like The Pit, an episode like Time's Era of BoJack, where they're just so sad and so tragic, there is a level of catharsis in being like, this is such a real thing. Because I do agree that there's some things that just feel so helpless, like it's just like depression. What did you say? What did you call it?
Depression porn.
Yeah, depression porn. But I feel like, at least in my experience, I didn't really get that from BoJack. Instead, it just felt like something kind of beautifully sad in that it is stuff that happens in real life. But there's still that like level of hope kind of underneath it, at least with BoJack's whole story, where we want to see him be better. And even though there's sort of a sadness to it, there's something there that keeps me sort of hooked onto it, where I want to see that evolution and I want to see people coming together to better themselves despite the struggles.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I have never seen the show, but so I only know what Thia is telling me. But I think that it's really nice that the audience continues to have a sense of hope in BoJack, and I feel like that is just sort of a uniquely human trait that I hope never goes away, because I think, the ability to have hope and to always crave, like, the best from any situation is, I think, something that makes humanity good. I don't know. I was trying to make a nice poignant
We're getting existential here.
I was trying to make a nice poignant point, and then the words didn't work.
No, you said it.
I said it. Okay. I'm going to cut off my losses here. All right.
I am going to have a shift into our game just because we're already way over time, and I'm going to have to edit probably a lot out.
You did this to yourself, Thia.
Better not cut anything I say. Everything I say is pure gold.
Okay, yeah, trigger warning, this episode is only Richard. Why did you sound like you're throwing
that would require
up
a trigger warning.
When you started laughing, you went, what are you, fucking goofy? Yuck.
So, Thia, what's the game?
So, as you know, we have our anthropomorphic human character, animal and human characters. And so for a first little mini game, I compiled a list of some of the goofy, odd names of side/minor characters in the show. And I'm going to read you a name, and then I'm going to have you guys guess if it is a human or an animal. And if you can guess that correctly, you get 1 point. If you can guess the type of animal, you get 2 points. And if you can guess the very, very specific... So, like, as an example, say I gave a name and you said animal, 1 point. But if you said cat, you get 2 points. But if you said Persian cat, you get 3 full points.
Question.
Yes.
Aren't humans animals?
Just ignore him.
Yeah,
ignore him.
Whatever.
Okay.
Take a look at this guy over here. But for the point of the game...
I didn't realize that I have a bunch of human supremacists with me. Not even classifying humans as animals.
Well, you know what I mean, though. You know what I mean. But I'm going to have us... This is going to be kind of quick, so I'm going to move a little bit quicker. I will keep score for you guys. And you got to listen to my keyboard ASMR while I type.
Yay. That was my sound of true excitement. Yay.
All right. Very first character, we have Danny Bananas.
Ooh. Is he a
Animal monkey?
Since you had the same answer, do either of you want to try to pick a type of monkey?
A chimpanzee.
Do I know any types of monkeys?
Okay, that's an ape. A brown
Theodore.
monkey.
Yes?
That's the type of monkey, the Theodore monkey.
Okay. Well, you were both off about the type of monkey, but you were correct. It is an animal, it is a monkey, so each of you get 2 points. He is
What is the type? I don't know what any types of monkeys are.
Proboscis? It's
Oh,
the one with the big nose.
Oh, that was on the tip of my tongue.
I was gonna say that.
Alright, next character. Tom Jumbo Gumbo.
It's a shrimp.
I don't know.
What are you thinking, Herod?
He could be Jumbo Gumbo. I immediately just think of bubble gum for some reason. I'll say human.
Human? So Richard gets 1 point because it is an animal, but he is a blue whale.
Okay, well, he is Jumbo.
Our next character, Amanda Hannity.
Okay, I think that's human.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if there's any handy, you know. Okay, yeah, I'm just gonna go human.
You human, both of you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's an animal, isn't it?
It is an animal. So neither of you get a point, and she's a manatee. Get it? Amanda Hannity.
Okay, alright.
And she's
Get a load of this guy.
chief of, what is their magazine called? Manatee Affair or something like that? I don't remember.
Manatee Affair.
Our next character, Flip McVicker.
Flip McVicker. I'm thinking of a monkey again, because, I don't know, Flip, but...
I'm gonna say it's a human.
Actually, you know what I'll say? A dolphin.
Okay. And Flip is a human.
Shit.
However, there was an episode where all of them were given like aliases, and he was turned into a dolphin.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but he's still
Do
a
I get
human.
a
He's still a
bonus
human.
point?
I'll give you.
No.
No, if Thea, this is your game. You don't have to listen to him.
I'm gonna give you half a point.
Listen to me.
No, you
You'll
don't
get
have
one
to.
half a point.
Okay, I'll take half a point. That could be my winning half a point.
The next character, Pickles Aplenty.
Pickles
Pickles
aplenty.
aplenty. What on earth eats pickles? No one's sane, I don't think.
What do you have against pickles?
They're gross.
Suck.
Okay, they're not actually that bad. I'll eat them on a burger. I won't eat them on their own.
Pickles aplenty.
Pickles Aplenty.
Pickles.
I'm gonna go
aplenty.
human.
Human? What about you,
I'm
Henry?
gonna go animal, but I don't know what type of animal. So I'm gonna say a sea urchin.
Sea urchin. Well, Ingrid does get 1 point because she
Okay.
is an animal. But Pickles Aplenty is a pug.
Okay.
Oh, alright.
All right. Our next name, Guy.
I'm
Just
gonna
Guy.
Say he's a human. I was once told
Animal.
by my parents that Guy is by my mother specifically, that Guy is a gay name, apparently, so I'm just calling,
It's one letter away.
this guy out for being gay. I'm gonna say he's a
So-
gay human.
A gay human.
I'm gonna say animal, and I think obviously it's going to be a lobster.
A lobster? Okay. So, just so, Ingrid said a gay human, and Richard said a lobster.
I think I should get 2 points. if
Bisexual.
Guy is an animal, so Richard gets 1 point.
Damn it. He's gonna
Sexuality
win.
unspecified, but he does date a woman, so
Okay.
possibly. And he is an American bison.
Alright.
Next, we have Vance Wagner.
He's a dog.
Dog.
Yeah.
Both of you saying dogs?
I will say he
Yes.
is a poodle.
Dalmatian.
Okay. Well, he is a human, so
No!
Why does he have a name like Wagman? Alright? He wags. Do
All
you
right.
not wag,
Next.
Wagman?
next we have Joey Pogo.
Okay. For the sake of competition,
Ooh, that phrase has not come up yet. Our famous
I will say that he is a sea lion.
Well, he is a human,
God damn it.
unfortunately.
You.
I'm losing.
Why unfortunately?
Because Thea roots.
I feel like I'm being
Thea roots
discriminated
for
against
me
here.
because I am the better sibling.
No, I
No
just,
about it.
I don't think
You
Inherit.
should root for me because Inherit is the better
It's
sibling.
not a-
I need things.
It's not a. I was hoping for maybe a tighter race, but Richard, I think Inherit can't catch up. So we only
Yeah.
have 2 left.
I'm not doing great.
But next we have.
Maybe, okay, you can make it all or nothing at the end.
Well, that's not really
that's
fair.
Nothing.
Thank you, Thea.
Okay,
Well,
if you've ever
technically,
seen
actually,
Dan and
actually,
Phil,
I think Inherit can win if you get the exact animal correct.
How many are there left?
How many are left?
You can double the points or something.
but only
That's
for
what they
me.
often do in quizzes.
We only have 2 left.
Oh god, okay.
So, but anyway, the next one we have Alan the Cable Guy. That is his name.
He is a crow.
Okay.
That's a good one. I mean, feel an animal, but not entirely sure. But I will say he is a long-haired guinea pig.
A long-haired guinea pig. Well, he is an animal, so both of you get that point. However, he is a panda. And our final character, Virgil Van Cleef.
Van Cleef.
Virgil Van
Elk.
Cleef.
Okay.
I'm going elk.
I'm going goat. Mountain goat.
Ooh.
Okay. Well, you guys are so close. He is a moose.
Oh.
I'm almost tempted to give Richard a second point because that's in the same family.
No.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, elk and moose in elk.
Yeah, everyone knows they're in the same family.
You didn't know.
Literally, I
they were in
just
the
did
same
like
family.
a search all about Elsa and Mook for writing reasons unrelated
What?
to this, and
Oh
so I
my
know
God.
a little too much about elk and moose right now.
Of course you did.
So I will
Yes.
give Richard a second point because that was technically the rules.
No, he didn't need
And
that
so,
point.
Let me tally in.
No, don't tally them.
points.
Don't tally them.
Do.
No.
Hold on, I need to zoom in to count my.
Tallying continues. Oh gosh, it hurts.
Okay, so Richard has 8,
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Woo.
and
For some
Harry
reason-
has 5.5.
Oh.
That 0.5 really helped.
It did. All right.
That's how we'll probably leave off in this episode because oh my gosh, this went way longer than I expected. Editing me will have a lot of fun.
Oh my god. Poor
Yay.
editing Thea.
Trigger
All
warning.
right. Well,
Theodore.
thank you so much, Thea. I very much enjoyed our conversation.
Trigger warning Theodore.
You're very welcome. Any closing thoughts? I won't say anything more because you've already heard me talk plenty.
Back in the 90s,
I
I
was
was
on
in
a very famous TV show.
Hobbyhorses.
I think we should just leave it after that. Honestly, cut there.
All right. Okay. I've been 1/3 of your hosts, Thea.
And I've been 2/3 of your host, Richard.
And I am the third of your host, Herod.
Bye.
Thank you so much for listening. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.